Now I would like to request to come and say something about the 1982 citizenship law to our Rohingya American Society President, Mr. Joshua Shaukat Ali, alias MSK Jilani. Hello. I welcome to everybody who are here to show the world a strong message to the Burmese government, and also to express condemnation towards the Burmese government for their denial of the citizenship rights of the Rohingya people in Arakan-Burma. I am going to read some of the historical perspective and historical roots of the Rohingya people who are living in Arakan state for many centuries. Rohingya ethnic group characterized by objective criteria such as the historical continuity and subjective factors including self-identification, which need to define an indigenous people. They are a people having supporting history, separate culture, civilization, language and literature, historically settled territory and reasonable size of the population and area in the Arakan state. Rohingya consider themselves distinct from other sectors of the society. Rohingya have been recognized as an indigenous ethnic group of Burma during the previous democratic parliamentary government of the first Prime Minister Unu in the years 1948 to 1962. Rohingya people were given the same nationality status as Kashin, Kaya, Karen, Mon, Shan and Rakhine in Burma. Rohingya language was also relayed twice a week from the official Burma broadcasting services from the date of May 15, 1961 to October 30, 1965. The Rangoon University Rohingya Students Association was one of the ethnic students associations that functioned from 1959 to 1961 under the registration numbers 113/1999, December 1959 and 7/60, September 1961 respectively. Dr. Francis Buchanan, in his comparative vocabulary of some of the languages spoken in the Burma Empire, stated that he met Rohingya in 1795 at Ava, the old Burmese capital city in Propa, Burma. In addition, being one of the indigenous communities of Burma, the Rohingya ethnic minority people were participated in all Burmese national elections during the colonial period from 1935 to 1948, parliamentary democratic period from 1948 to 1962, Nawin Socialist Burmese Program Party period from 1974 to 1988, multi-party general election held by the State Law and Restoration Order Council in 1990, and the last democratic election in 2011 under the President Things's government. In their participation on all Burmese national elections, Legislative Assembly, Constituent Assembly, the Parliament, People's Assembly, and People's Council of all different levels. Rohingya's representative were also appointed as cabinet ministers and parliamentary secretaries respectively. Currently, the Rohingya have 3 MPs in upper and lower houses of parliament and 2 state representatives in the Arakan state parliament. Rohingyas are also the bona fide citizens of Burma according to Article 3 of the New Ethnic Treaty of October 17, 1947, and under Section 11, Number 1, Number 2, Number 3 of the Constitution of the Union of Burma, 1947, which effected January 4, 1948. The first president of Burma, stated that the Rohingya Muslims of Arakan certainly belong to one of the indigenous races of Burma. In fact, there is no pure indigenous races in Burma if they do not belong to indigenous of the races of Burma. We also cannot be taken as indigenous races of Burma. Besides, the Rohingyas are indigenous Burmese citizens in accordance with the treaty census of 1826, 1872, 1911 and 1944. So, with the above evidences and all historical accounts confirm that the Rohingyas are indigenous Burmese nationality who have lived in Arakan state for many centuries, and they have the same rights and privileges as other citizens of Burma to live peacefully together with the other nationalities in Arakan state, Burma, regardless of their ethnic belief or ethnic background. Unfortunately, today, the namesake democratic and quasi-civilian government of the President Thein Sein, denying the Rohingyas basic fundamental human rights and historical existence with the implementation of 1982 Burmese citizenship law enacted by the late General Ne Win in October 15, 1982. The 1982 Burmese citizenship law is a highly controversial, which is called the Black Law by many international critics and human rights organizations. This 1982 Burma citizenship law was intentionally created to exclude the Rohingya people from Burma citizenship, rendering them stateless. Rendering them the stateless people without legal and civil rights. Under this law, it is impossible for the Rohingya people to be recognized as citizens. This law violates the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, and international norms prohibiting discrimination of racial and religious minorities, such as the UN General Assembly Resolution on the International Convention on the Elimination of all forms of racial discrimination. It is fundamental principle that everyone has a right to a nationality. The current government of President Thein Sein's treatment of the Rohingya violates UN definition of the rule of law. So, at this gathering, we demand the government of President Thein Sein immediately stop forcing the Rohingya people to register as Bengali in the nationality verification process, despite the Rohingya has a strong opposition, and demand that the government of Myanmar restore the citizenship rights of the Rohingya people. Restore the Rohingya citizenship rights by amending or nullifying the 1982 controversial Burma citizenship law. Effective tomorrow, the Burmese government going to collect the national verification process from all Arakan Rohingya Muslims in Burma. So the Burmese government says Rohingyas are Bengali people who entered illegally during the colonial period. But it is totally false allegation by the Burmese government, because Rohingya has historical roots, historical perspective and historical existence in Arakan-Burma. Rohingya has lived peacefully with other communities, with other national races in Burma since 87th century to until today. The Burmese government created this 1982 citizenship law to totally exclude the Rohingya people from the national development in the democratic process. So we totally reject the implementation of the 1982 citizenship law, which government are trying to establish according to the perspective of the Rakhine ultra-nationalists from Arakan. Rakhine leaders totally unhappy with the Burmese government if the central government is not implementing the 1982 citizenship law. Today, we strongly protest against the 1982 citizenship law. We reject the 1982 citizenship law, which is against the Rohingya national and gross injustices. Thank you very much to all listeners at this gathering.
Thank you very much, the President of the Rohingya American Society based in Wisconsin.